Cop gets call from worried teacher. What she sees next makes her speechless. Officer Chris was standing there in the empty school hallway looking at a worried and upset girl. She was standing opposite her in the corner, gripping tightly onto a Kermit the Frog toy. Chris couldn't explain why, but that girl made her feel anxious. Then, out of the blue, their eyes met and the officer felt sick to her stomach. Christine "Chris" Morrison worked as a police officer at the Santa Rosa Police Department. For this kind and caring woman, every day was a possibility to make a difference in someone's life. So when she received a call from a worried teacher from a local high school, the woman immediately headed to the school to help her out. If only she knew the road that lay ahead. Before her professional career as a police officer, Morrison had been working as a teacher for high-risk students for 12 years. Then, she decided to change something in her life and joined the Santa Rosa Police Department, where she has now been a cop for 18 years. During all these years of helping people, Christine was convinced that she had seen it all. However, she would change her mind when she would enter the door of the school. It was Monday morning, which meant a new week full of new possibilities for Officer Chris. She sipped her freshly brewed coffee, ate breakfast, and headed to fulfill her duty. The woman hopped into her car, and then her cell phone rang. She thought it was her colleague or her boss, but no, it was the teacher from the local school, and she definitely sounded worried. Hi, I'm Miss Jones from Herbert Slater Middle School, and I've got a student who's having a problem," the scared teacher said, her voice shaking. Chris knew she needed help and drove straight away to the school she received the call from, utterly unaware of what she was about to find. You see, things weren't as easy as they might have seemed. For Officer Chris, visiting the middle school wasn't like shooting fish in a barrel. The thing is that her classmates tormented the woman for many years, and even now, their cruel words sound in her head. But luckily, that was all in the past, and Chris became a successful and influential person in her town. She managed to prove to everyone they were profoundly wrong. However, the world was about to crumble down for her one more time. Officer Chris pulled up to the middle school and got out of her car. All of the students' eyes were on her, full of wonder what a police officer was doing at their school. The woman entered the school doors, unaware of what she was about to uncover. She tried to do her best not to remember the vicious days she had to overcome being a student. But with the children pointing and staring, Chris was transported back to 1975, the period that Chris had tried her hardest to forget. But then, out of the blue, something made her distraught from the uncomfortable memories that had started to plague the woman's mind. It was the sound of a girl screaming, which made her heart pound like a stereo straight away. She swiftly turned back to see where it was coming from. Then, the teacher who was calling her appeared and introduced herself as Mrs. Smith. She led the police officer to the emotional and upset student who was standing in the corner of the hallway, staring at Officer Chris's every move. When Chris looked at her, she realized the girl was upset and distraught. After all, she was standing there completely alone, holding a Kermit the Frog toy. Mrs. Smith quickly informed Officer Chris of the student, called Molly, and her backstory. You see, the girl was different from the other boys and girls in her class. She was often disruptive and often needed special care and attention. Today, Molly refused to move and was standing still in the corner. Chris immediately remembered all those disruptive students in her school and felt uneasy from that memory. Yet the woman knew the girl needed help, and there was only one thing that would work. Officer Chris came closer to the girl and started talking to her smoothly, but to no avail. The girl refused to move. So the woman realized she had to play her game to make things work. She decided to do something that was simple but completely incredible. Officer Chris took a deep breath before singing out loud amongst the silence in the empty corridor.
Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me.
She continued singing, so everybody that was there, Mrs. Smith and the principal, was listening with excitement to the sound of Officer Chris's angelic voice. However, the main thing that made that moment so special was not just her singing, but the song she chose. Officer Chris sang Rainbow Connection, made famous in 1987 by Kermit the Frog himself.
Kermit sings that song. Did you know that? Did you know Kermit sings that song? No?
Molly loved the sound of the officer's voice, and her face brightened after a while. All the students were standing there watching a beautiful and magical moment between a police officer and a girl, but nobody could have expected what was going to happen next. Mrs. Smith had been in the hallway at that moment and captured everything that had happened. She posted it online, and the video became viral within a matter of hours. Thousands of people enjoyed Officer Chris's kind behavior and applauded her. But what about Chris herself?
That young lady's smile made my day, made my week, made my year. I mean, just absolutely a moment I won't forget, and it reminds me why I'm in the profession I'm in.